without tourism, we really can't, do much else. So it's the support of the tourism that actually made that possible.
Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Is there some feedback coming?
Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
little
you listening to jungle music or something?
Oh,
I'm
no.
joking.
Is it gone?
Hey, it's gone now. Yeah.
Okay, no worries.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. That was.
He's sucking on the microphone or something.
Come on, Scott, behave.
Was that DJ?
That was the
DJ Tripod?
That was the wub step version of my introduction.
Awesome.
Okay. So you founded a series of tournament. It was just so what? You were just I don't know, sitting around on the beach literally, and you were just thinking, yeah, we need a tournament.
Yeah, well, actually, how it happened, my first tournament ever was I was 15 years old, and we did it at 2001 at year 2000 at a McDonald's. We just to show we didn't really have.
We have to run tournaments at McDonald's. That sounds amazing. Like why is that not standard for everything?
We had to be extremely creative with trying to find spaces. Like the video game stores on the island aren't just video game stores. They're electronic stores that sell televisions and all this kind of stuff. So they wouldn't allow us to do tournaments there. Then there weren't really any other places at the time that were willing to do it. So I was working a part-time job on weekends at McDonald's, and I asked my boss one day, hey, can we use, it's an upstairs, it's a 2-story McDonald's restaurant, and I was like, hey, after 6 p.m. when it gets quiet, can we do a little tournament from 6 to midnight upstairs in McDonald's? And he was like, yeah, sure, no problem, as long as the people are buying food here and stuff. So it was cool, and that's where we started doing little local tournaments in McDonald's. That's where we had to get a little creative. But then where it really became the Video X Games was when my good friend, who was actually my boss at the time, I worked at a video store, and we told him the idea that, I'd really like to do tournaments where everyone in the Caribbean can come. And he said, well, let's start one as a local tournament. That was in 2001. This was at a video store now. So as you can see, we do tournaments in McDonald's, in video stores, and beaches. We get very creative when it comes to locations. But in any case, we did that one. It was a huge success locally. Many, pretty much all the local gamers came out, and from what we understood now is that hey, we have a potential to do something bigger. So that's where in 2006 we made it a regional tournament, and we had people from all around the Caribbean coming to this event: Puerto Rico, Trinidad, Jamaica, and so on. And ever since then, we were a regional tournament. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to get my globe out because I'm trying to work out where St. Martin actually is.
It's such a small dot, I don't even think you're going to see it on a globe. All right, so you're going to have to go to just north of South America,
okay,
but southeast of Florida.
Okay.
Maybe you're going to see some islands, some of the bigger islands like Guadeloupe. I don't know if you see Trinidad.
Yeah, wow, okay, I only just realized how many damn islands are in the Caribbean.
Yes, it's a large number of islands, so
because the players had to eat the food at McDonald's, was the entry fee a Big Mac and $5 or some shit? Or?
Actually, you're right. The entry fee.
Yes.
Oh my God!
Meals. You got. I want the boy toy. I don't want no girl toy.
Yeah, the entry fee was a value meal, which was $6 US
That's so
at the time.
funny. Actual value meal is entry fee. That's so sick.
Yeah.
I know that's the best tournament I've ever heard. That's better than this. I
funny,
want to come to Beach just for the McDonald's. Come on, McDonald's side tournament.
You know what? Funny enough, holding fighting games tournaments in popular chain restaurant isn't that uncommon because I think I mentioned about 4 shows back. Yeah, there was a fighting games tournament in the UK called the Dynamic Fighting Leagues that was ran. Funny enough, in a 2-story, just like your story, in a 2-story, Burger Kings, and yeah, we took all of upstairs, and it was, pretty much the same thing. I mean, the entry fee was, we didn't have to buy any food or whatever, but it was just mad convenience. I can tell you that, where you could just go downstairs and get some burgers and stuff, and obviously had a toilet, which in the UK FGC is, just saying. Whoa. You guys still there? Oh my! Oh, darn it. Yeah, shout outs to Skype. The local record again, and yeah, just swap places. There we go. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. As I was just mentioning, Virgin Media, tis the broadband of the devil.
Oh, don't worry. It beats our coconut tree powered internet, so I'm sure you guys will be better off.
Love it.
Wow.
Yes.
Actually,
you never heard of coconut? We have coconut energy here, you know?
That's amazing.
Yeah, I would.
I live in the forest, like, my internet's supplied by squirrels and hedgehogs moving, creating motion, and activate the internet through the trees.
Like one squirrel's got like Google in his hands. He's like running to your house.
Actually, how is
Loads of animals just doing circles and circles, creating
gotcha.
energy.
Actually, Rolando, how is the internet in the Caribbean? Because I know you got some bloody killers in the Dominican Republic. I mean, that's it's a tiny island, but you got like one of the best, was it Soul Calibur players? Yeah, was it Omega DR and stuff like that?
Yeah, Omega DR won the world championship from in Soul Calibur last year.
Yeah.
We also have DRA, who's a part of VXG Empire Elite. And he won Video X Games last year, and he defeated pretty much all the American players that came. Gutex, Mike Ross, Combo Fiend, Sanford Kelly, Perfect Legend, all of those guys went down against DRA. And DRA actually also knocked out Justin Wong out of the 2011 EVO. He was the one that sent him out of the tournament. So he's a very, very exceptional player. DR is really one of the best. And we also have, everyone knows PR Rock, who's originally from Puerto Rico.
Of course, yeah.
He went into the US. Juicebox Abel, who's a Street Fighter player, also commentates.
Wasn't he that
MLG.
fucking guy that just dances around whenever
Yes,
he did an ultra?
yes, that guy. He's Puerto Rican as well. There's a lot of players out there that have Caribbean descent. You got a guy like Prez, who I think now lives in Canada. He's originally from Trinidad, I believe. So we got a lot of Caribbean players that I think. The thing is, what you mentioned is true. The internet in the Caribbean, to put it in Triforce terms, is mad fluff.
What the hell?
It is okay. Here's the problem. We in the Caribbean get our internet. The entire Caribbean gets our internet from one place, and that's a series of cables that are just connected from the Bahamas to Miami. So we don't have these huge satellite systems and all that stuff beaming satellites into the sky like you guys. We actually feed all of our internet out of the state of Florida for the entire Caribbean region. So you can imagine.
I just love like the idea of this one cable. Like, don't stand on this cable.
Yes, like if someone swims by there,
people lose YouTube.
Yeah, like if someone takes a swim and I don't know, bumps in or goes in like a boat, or if some Russian spy submarine is spying on the U.S. and crashes through that cable, I think everyone in the Caribbean will declare war on Russia immediately, because that would be so ridiculously messed up if that cable gets cut. I mean, we actually have to send some security to make sure that our enemies in the scene don't plan an attack during VXG weekend to cut our streams.
West Coast ninjas coming over and cut through your wire and that.
Yeah, those West Coast ninjas gonna do Operation Cut the Beach. So
yeah, I'll bring the staffy and I'll be on guard.
Gotcha. So I take it they level up the good old fashioned way. They just get a mate. They make that mate good, and then they just obviously just battle each other until they just get tired.
Yep.
Oh man.
Oh man. The internet though, I mean, like. That actually it comes with a good thing, because here's the good thing about not having internet, and this is what makes the Dominican Republic in particular so godlike.
Okay.
The Dominican Republic is a relatively, I wouldn't want to call it a poor economy, but it's an economy where the average monthly, well, not average, the minimum wage is about between maybe like $200 and $300 US a month. So it gives you an idea that they're not, to buy a PlayStation is like 2 months' salary for some people over there.
Oh wow.
So what you have though in the
How
Dominican
many games?
as a result of that is that there's always one guy or a group of guys that buy a system, and then they all go by each other's house and they alternate this system.
I like that. I like that.
They do massive training sessions, and I kid you not, like it's 20 guys staring at one screen, staring at one game.
Oh,
And the
wow.
reason why that is so effective is that the minute a match happens, there's like a billion. There's just a bunch of chatter, blah 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 blah. Just a bunch of chatter, but everyone's discussing what they just saw, and
That sounds sick, though. That's what you want.
that's how
man.
they discover so much amazing stuff. Like there were some unblockables that with Fei Long that DRA was setting up that many people hadn't even seen before VXG. There was some stuff gross with Sector when he beat Perfect Legend, the world champion. When he beat Perfect Legend, he was doing stuff with Sector no one even knew was possible. And that's the godlike thing about the Caribbean way of gaming. We do, you know, we do group sessions as pornographic as that sounds. No homo, but we have very large group sessions of gaming, and it's very effective because we get such a high level of training by doing that, rather than just staying home, playing online with a bunch of scrubs, not really leveling up your game, not talking to the person next to you and speaking about actual strategy and trying to discover things in the game. Going online is just not as effective, in my opinion.
Gotcha. Just sorry to intersect. I liked how you mentioned you beat Perfect Legend twice. So, yeah.
Yeah. Gross did beat Perfect Legend twice. It was he came out of losers, and he beat him 2 sets.
Can't get more consistent than that.
Yeah. So the Caribbean, I always tell people the Caribbean is not free. I mean, some guys might come here thinking, you know, it's good that you're coming, and we do advertise the parties and the beaches and so on, but don't think that you won't have a hell of a time in the tournament itself. The tournament will bring about a high level of competition because, I mean, there's a lot on the line in terms of prizes. So that's also a reason you've traveled all the way here, you know, with a top 16 payout, the difference between, you know, 16th and 20th can be the difference of going empty-handed or getting at least $200. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
with that kind of system, it still breeds the competitiveness of the entire tournament. So by
rather than like a top 3 where people just go, oh well, those 3 players, you know, PR Rog and whatever, they're gonna get that top 3. I'm not gonna have a chance.
No, in this tournament we spread the prizes much. I think that's actually one of the biggest difference in terms of the tournament itself between us and other tournaments. We are less interested with paying the top players. The top players do get a good prize by no means. Is it anything to sneeze at? But with a $14,000 payout for Street Fighter 4 and a $14,000 payout for Marvel.
That's a lot of chicken nuggets, that lads. That's a lot of chicken nuggets.
Now that you've mentioned numbers, I guess you should mention them. So
yeah,
just AE then, not any other games.
Right now, the 2 games, and we do this based on the community support for the game within the Caribbean, because at the end of the day, the Caribbean it's still a Caribbean tournament, so we do want to respect what the gamers here play. And by far the most popular games in the Caribbean are Street Fighter 4, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and Mortal Kombat 9. Those are actually still the 3. Mortal Kombat, yeah, it's a very big game in the Caribbean. Even more so since Gross won against Perfect Legend last year, the popularity grew even more because now everyone saw, wow, so all this dedication we've had as Caribbean players playing this Mortal Kombat game, we're actually world class. Like, so a lot of players that might have dropped the game started picking it up again, and so it's definitely a really big game there. So those 3 games are gonna have the biggest prizes at VXG. As I mentioned, it's just under 14. It's actually, to be exact, $13,600 is the prize for Street Fighter 4, $13,600 for Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and $8,000 for Mortal Kombat 9. Now, all these games are subject to being increased. This is what VXG puts forward towards the games. This is not included prizes from sponsors. We have Mad Cats who's on board. It's going to be giving some more prizes as well. You know, some of the video game companies, we do anticipate that they will make a contribution toward the pot to make it even bigger. But that is our initial guaranteed prize for all of these games. So
There are places on the globe that would kill for that kind of prize pot to attract players. And
yeah, it is very. I must say, if it was not for the St. Martin Tours Board and their actually really visionary, almost prophetic kind of ways of saying, we're going to invest in this event and see it grow, and now they're seeing the popularity is reaching. In terms of the tourism aspect, I think something that people don't fully understand is that the reason why it makes sense for all this money and all this investment to go in is because the Tourism Board of St. Martin does this anyway. It's just that they normally choose to do it with other events or other, let's say they might, put like $2 million on an ad on CNN, and I'm like, look, take out those ads you have at like 3 a.m. that no one's watching, or if they're watching, they're too drunk or stoned to even realize that they're watching a commercial about St. Martin. Take away those and allocate some of those resources to us. And they were like, oh, yeah, sure, that's a no-brainer. What are you going to do? Well, I'm going to get you views on this stream, on that stream, and this one, and I'm going to be on the People's stream here in the UK talking about this island, that the people that are on the stream who never ever heard of the island of St. Martin, suddenly they know about it now, that hopefully one day if they're going on a honeymoon or if they're going on a vacation or if they're going on a family reunion or a group trip or a corporate trip, where are they going to choose? They're going to choose St. Martin. That's the idea behind it all.
Okay. Yeah, brother. Yeah, could you talk about that? How did you go from literally, like I said, sitting on the beach and deciding, right, we're going to do a tournament, to just approaching the tourism board and then them totally getting behind you? Because I think you're one of the few fighting game tournaments that can actually definitely say, yep, my country is literally behind me.
Yes, outside of Korea, and I think maybe Singapore has done a couple of tournaments like that with in conjunction with World Cyber Games and so on. But I think in terms of the tourism, we have found something that is an opportunity for everyone in the world. And the thing is that the Caribbean, 20% of our GDP goes into investment into tourism. And I knew this. I studied tourism myself. I have a bachelor's in tourism and recreation management. So this knowledge kind of helped me to understand the dynamics of the industry and realize that there is a certain value that you people have as gamers when you travel. You have a economic impact. When people go to Sweden, I think Sweden's another country that actually supports gaming through DreamHack, because that city of Jönköping, when there are 20,000 people in Jönköping, each spending maybe 100 euros each. Imagine the economic impact that has on that city. You're talking about 2 to 3 million euros in just basic expenditures such as transportation, food, hotels. This is creating jobs in Jönköping, and it's happening twice a year. DreamHack Summer and DreamHack Winter. I'm sure the tourism offices in Sweden are also backing that event as a result of that. When you have numbers like that, there is a value to it. And it's just a matter of thinking out of the box and saying, hey, you need to support this event. You really should do this. And I think that's something that we want to pioneer. And I'm not scared to actually encourage other people and help other islands and places and countries around the world, even if it's a small contribution at your tourism board. Sometimes airports are also willing to do that. For example, our airport has a new branding that they came out with, a whole new name and everything. So we approached them. We said, listen, we can, the people arriving on the airport, we'll welcome them there. We'll tell them about the airport. We'll advertise you on stream and all that kind of stuff. And they put up these huge banners that are about maybe 200 to 300 square feet banners. About 14 of them of different gamers are going to be honored on these pillars at the airport. So it's really going to look like your Korea kind of thing. They have a new respect for esports here because they really appreciate what you all do. And I always tell gamers, I think gamers unfortunately highly undervalue their worth. The worth of the people in this stream watching right now, the value of people who are watching World Games Cup this weekend, there is value in that. Your two eyes glued to the screen, there's a reason why that $8.95 plays. because Twitch knows.
8.95. Okay.
You know what I mean? There's a reason for that. Twitch understands the value, and I think if all of these companies understand the value, we as gamers should also understand our reach and our value and understand why so many people are willing to do it. The thing is, fighting games fell behind somehow. I'm not sure exactly when it happened or how it happened, but at some point, fighting games started to lag behind other games in terms of esports, which wasn't really necessary. Because if I look at some tournaments and I see the hype and the action involved, you know, people might look at real sport. I guess a good example, and some people don't really like this comparison, but just from a business perspective, if you look at professional wrestling like WWE,
No, the FGC and WWE, they kind of go in hand to hand because, well, like I said, when I went to the arcade, it was nothing but you were always hearing in my left ear rock bottoms and stuff like that. So yeah,
yeah, that's the thing, and you know, it's just a matter of if you want to realize that your sport has a certain niche, the entertainment value of our sport is absolutely amazing. I mean, you can't listen. I mean, no offense to StarCraft, but
oh dear, here it comes.
You got two guys playing StarCraft. I mean, there's no way he's gonna pop off and get, you know, shout and be like, put his hand in the other guy's face and be like, yeah, you like Ultra, huh? You know, like, oh my God, he comes through. Oh my God, he lands uppercut, like that kind of stuff. Oh, it's more like, oh, and this movement and. Oh, he moves here and this happens here, and
yeah, like I listen to like what's considered like great StarCraft commentary, and you know it's nowhere near as hype as you know comebacks on Marvel.
The moments. Here's the thing: you can have a StarCraft match happens and it's the best out of 5, you know, but you can have a Street Fighter match that's a best out of 5, and there's 10 rounds, and all 10 rounds are absolutely gut-wrenching and ridiculous. Oh, that's random. Oh, what is he doing?
I believe that's a comic.
Honda's fighting Ferret.
He's fighting the ferret. Yeah, that's the shit old Street Fighter comic. Yeah,
yeah, man. So
yes,
there's definitely a value in what you. I think a lot of people in the scene haven't. You know, we're all at fault. We as tournament organizers are slightly to blame because we haven't done our job to go out there and be creative about sponsors. You know, we can't always go. All tournament organizers just want to keep, at least in the U.S. scene, then want to keep going to like the same sponsors. Like, there's only so much Mad Cats can do. There's only so much Capcom can do. You know, what's wrong with going to a beverage company? What's wrong with going, dare I say, to a beer company? What's wrong with going to Heineken and say, hey, Heineken, you want to sponsor a gaming event?
I'm down for that.
You're putting drinking alcohol. Oh, but what about rugby? What about soccer? What about football? What about baseball? They all advertise alcohol. So aren't we the ones saying that our thing is an e-sport? So if it's an e-sport, why can't we allow beverage companies to get advertising and support these events? Like, we need to get more creative in the scene in order to attract new sponsors. That's I think where we fell behind in the FGC.
Ultra Chen brought to you by Budweiser.
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, God,
We've seen the
those
difference in
guys
money
been on that long time ago.
Yeah, like the difference in money between like esports and fighting game tournaments is ridiculous.
Yeah, let's not even go there.
But, like, you know, I mean, they've got the money, but they've got no hype. They've got no pop-offs.
Yeah, I know some people don't like to hear that, but I mean, I'm just being serious here. I mean, at the end of the day, how many more pop-offs and entertaining moments and gut-wrenching moments happen at FGC tournaments compared to StarCraft? And I've been to both. You know, I've been to WCG events, ESWC events, you know, MLG events. But I have to admit, while what I do like is the massive amount of support, that gives me goosebumps when you walk into those buildings and you see hundreds and thousands of people supporting the game. That is something that does impress me. But the actual game itself, while I really enjoy StarCraft, I myself am actually a MOBA player.
Whoa, you're a traitor, a class traitor, Don!
I know. I play the worst of all the MOBAs too. I play Heroes of New Earth.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I know. That's how sad my life is, you know.
Not even Dota?
Yeah.
I've started
I didn't
playing
know
Dota,
that.
lads.
Like I kind of like I had my fanboy phase at first. I know, man, Dota 2 sucks. I'm gonna stick to Han, and then I just kind of got used to Han. I went to Dota, I got bodied, and I'm like, nah, fuck that. I'm gonna stick to, I'm just gonna stick to Han. But honestly, yeah, and so it's not like I'm just saying this out of whatever. I do enjoy these games, but FGC has to understand that we have a certain charisma about us that we can sell to sponsors, and we just have to be creative about how we sell it.
No, it's definitely true. As you were mentioning before, the FGC, I do equate it. We are more like wrestling, whereas MLG, yeah, the greatest criticism by the FGC was that the hype was just removed, and it was, when you see people dress up in suits and stuff, even though oddly enough that's what I Play Winner and the sort of some of the West Coast streams are trying to emulate at the moment, but whenever a good example would be, it'd be like comparing, let's say when we saw the first time we saw MLG when they had King of Fighters there, and they divided every single match by this big razor moment that literally every match you literally had a commercial. And I don't know about you, but dividing every single match between a commercial, that was, until eventually by the end of the day, they then decided to do it between sets. But still, you were just thinking, between a commercial.
It was the worst thing I've ever seen. It was so boring. It
Well,
just, like, took out all the atmosphere.
no. Well, no, do you know what the horrible thing
Just
was?
sapped the atmosphere.
Well, no, do you know what the
Go out there,
horrible thing
more,
was? The
just
matches
sapped it.
themselves, they were gourmet. They were still, because you still had some of the best players there, especially like, Barler at the time and all that. And it was like, the matches were still good, but the problem was, the long pause between waiting for a commercial and then doing an interview, which I got nothing against, but when, again, you could just see that when you try and combine esports, I'd say the esports sort of mentality with the FGC, it definitely is not compatible, let's just say that.
Interviews and stuff, I think, can work really well. Like, if you watch SoCal Regionals, they were doing on-the-spot interviews straight after matches and stuff, and that was the production on SoCal Regionals was amazing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right.
Well,
Well,
play one game, then play 2 tunes, then have a little chat, and then play another game half an hour later. That was just not right.
Okay.
yeah, I could tell you that that is something I actually have. To this day, I was speaking to someone today, and this is I can't be quoted on this. This is just complete speculation. But someone told me that MLG lost over $500,000 on their gaming last year. And like I said,
It's KOF's fault.
Like, I mean,
MKII players.
this is where
shut up, you two heathens. Sorry.
Yeah. No, but I mean, like, I kind of blame us as gamers for these things as well. Like, even with VXG, I face it where people are so skeptical about anything that's new that they don't allow themselves the chance to give things a shot. And honestly, MLG deserved the shot from the entire community. And I mean, with those kind of numbers, I personally don't like it. They might bring it back. I hope they bring it back, but I certainly don't expect them to bring back fighting games ever again. Not anytime soon.
But they couldn't work out a deal with Capcom, could they? So they didn't have the big flagship titles.
Well, what is interesting is that IPL.
That's just dropped, hasn't it?
They were gonna do the Capcom games, but obviously that has been canceled now. Does that create an opportunity for MLG to jump the ball now and get in there? I don't know, but to be honest with you, Tekken, Mortal Kombat, and King of Fighters, particularly King of Fighters, knowing that 1,000 people showed up for Evo. Okay, fine. Even if half of those only came up for the shirts, that's 500 people. Why did only 26 people show up to MLG when they had that King of Fighters? That's crazy. And this is where the gamers are also at fault, that, they should have made every single possible effort to go.
To get to the event. Yeah.
They oh yeah, I'm not going to support esports, and esports wants to censor us and all this kinds of stuff. I mean,
biting the nose to spite the face sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't really say that we're esports. I don't think we're esports. We're more like B sports, because we're beach sports. But I would have to say
Like beach sports, man.
I do support I gotta say, I do support what MLG did. I think they did make some mistakes throughout the way, of course. I mean, it's their first time, really going to that extent. So, of course, mistakes are going to be made, as VideoX Games has made some mistakes in the past, too. But I think when an organization is coming in and is willing to invest that much, the community should embrace that and not think that it's out to come and kill everyone. It's there to help everyone grow. Because like I said, my sponsors, I made sure I told them, look, if we're going to do this thing, US players came last year, I want to support their scene. So I don't want to just fly in random people and say, hey, you come, you come. No, let's give everyone an equal opportunity to compete for these prizes. And that's why we did the qualifiers in the US. And I asked them to invest over $40,000 in this because I believe that it's an investment that's worthy, you know. And now, are you saying, oh, yeah, there are a couple naysayers out there. And honestly, I'm glad that it's not that many of them. But for the few naysayers that are out there, yeah, trying to buy out the scene. Why is it buying out the scene? Big E is going to continue to do his tournaments, and those guys that we support are going to continue to do tournaments whether VXG is here or not. And as a matter of fact, we will continue to support their tournaments. So, this year we really concentrated. The tourist office wants to do this in phases. I know Europe didn't get as many qualifiers as we had hoped to. But we are committed to doing a qualifier there, at least one plane ticket to get people down. I'm actually trying for 2. Shout outs to James Bardoff, who's actually advising me about this.
Yep, shout out to James.
He's in the chat now.
Oh, he's in the chat. Thanks a lot.
He's under the names. He's under the name Arms House in the chat.
Okay, all right, yeah, Arm House. Okay, yeah, that's his streaming network, right?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
I wanted, I wanted to do at least something. I managed to squeeze a ticket out for now. I'm still trying to get one more, but I'm trying to at least squeeze it out so that at least one of the guys over there has a fortunate chance of getting a free flight to come down. Again, I don't want to just do qualifiers and I could just do a qualifier and say, hey guys, do a qualifier for me and you'll get seeding points. I feel that's insulting to your worth. I want to give you something that's tangible. Like, why, you're obviously giving me advertising. I admit that value in what you give to me. So I want to give you something valuable as well and make sure that you have at least one person from your country that is guaranteed to be represented. If a couple of other people decide to join him and share his room or get a flight and go down with him, sure, by all means, that's also possible. But at least that one person can get here. That is something I'm definitely going to do. And now in the future, now that we've done a very good job developing our name in the US, we can gradually start to expand in the coming years to Europe and Asia, and eventually make this a completely global event where every single country is represented. That is actually my personal dream. I want to get a gamer from every single country in the world. According to Wikipedia, it's 181 of them. So I'm hoping to get 181.
How amazing would that be, man?
It's something World Game Cup has been trying to do for a long time. But I don't think they actually succeeded to get every single country. And that's a lot has to do because with team sports, it's difficult to transport an entire team. But with FGC games, one-on-one, it is very much possible to get a guy from Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan and Angola and Antarctica. And there must be one fighting game player there. Like there must be.
Yeah, I'm just trying to picture now. As you said, there was 181. I'm trying to imagine. Yeah, somewhere in Luxembourg there is the equivalent of desk. And yeah, he wants to go out, and he too can play the bass, and doesn't want to be seen on cameras. But anyway, sorry.
Well, yeah, that is one of the things you want to do. So I just want to tell people, don't feel like VXG is only focusing on the US. It was our biggest market to begin with, so logically it makes sense for us to first develop that scene and then gradually start to spread our wings. This is only going to get bigger. Remember, this is our first year doing qualifiers, so there's definitely a lot of room to expand, and it will be expanded. It would most definitely be expanded.
Yeah,
I think it's just amazing that you have sort of a completely way of funding this sort of thing.
Yeah, and there's someone out there is going to come up with another new, unique way if they put their minds to it. That I can tell you, because, I mean, I heard, for example, I don't know if this is true again, but this is something I heard, that the tournament in Kuwait, place where...
The ones they always get Daigo to go to and stuff.
Yes. I heard they're actually funded by an oil company.
Wow.
Whoa. Yeah. Okay. That is serious money. I don't even want to know.
Exactly. That's serious dollars. I mean,
yeah, but all of Kuwait is sponsored by oil money, isn't it? All of Kuwait. So I guess it would be inevitable that it would be.
Yeah. I mean, like, what is it for an oil company to say, all right, I'll buy, 10,000 euros worth of tickets and stuff. That's like the CEO of that company makes that money between lunch, you know. So that's really
that's not even petty cash. That's like the budget set aside for the little satchels of sugar, isn't it?
It's like, I'll have one less sugar today. I'll have one less.
And then we'll run this tournament and invite someone from every country.
Yeah, it's like one day they diet, they don't eat like $10,000 meals, and then they say, "All right, we'll do a tournament instead." But there's companies all out there, you know, that we have to get. You know, car manufacturers. I found it really cool that Street Fighter 25th anniversary got Scion as a sponsor, and they sponsored that car that they gave away. That opens the door to more companies to do that. They can use. Now all of us can use that as to approach companies, and honestly, I did. We have a cosplay tournament, a cosplay pageant that we're doing that's going to involve girls from all around the Caribbean.
I like the sound I like the sound already.
Wait a minute.
And the winner is actually the winner is actually going to win we're working on getting a car.
Win a woman.
Winner.
Oh, God. All right then.
Yeah. So. And how you do that, we pitch it the same way as it was done for Street Fighter 25th. And that's why I would encourage anyone. Like, I was telling a good friend of mine there, does a tournament in Florida, Alex Chapelli. I was saying, if I was him, I would go to Disney. And I would tell Disney, listen, I'm doing a tournament that's attracting 2,000 to 3,000 people, you know, to Orlando. You know, why don't you sponsor the event, and I'll organize one day where, like, on the Thursday before the event, we like FGC invades Disney World. Like, that would be godlike. I mean, come on. We all have a little this in us. No matter how old we get, I think all of us would not mind going at least once.
I'm sorry. It's just the mental image of the UK FGC, especially particular individuals I know in Disney World, sort of do not compute. I'm still the daddy he's like Vinnie Jones. I'm sorry. He's like, I mean, no offense. He's a bloody nice guy. But it's like, he's like, in my vision, he's like Vinnie Jones, and it's like him in Disney World. That's like, yeah, it doesn't compute.
Yeah, it's just a matter of, you know, anything is fun when you have a large group of fun.
Oh, I would go.
That's the thing.
I would go
you can do an FGC tournament church for all I care. If you got the right group of people, it'll be fun. You know.
Yeah, man, definitely.
That's really what it comes down to. You know, someone was saying in the chat that Orlando doesn't need tourism help. They have Disneyland. Even Disneyland has its moments when it's quiet and it's dead. There are times when it's a ghost town because it's just they have their low seasons. They all do, and that's where you target them. You say, hey, listen, you have a period here. There's a Thursday where you normally get like 200 people to visit. I'm going to bring at least 1,000 people to you. And in exchange, you sponsor our event. Boom. And again, what is it for Disney World to say, all right, sure, I'll shell out a few $1,000s to sponsor your event. Like, this is where the FGC has to go to eventually. As crazy as it sounds, it takes these crazy ideas, because if I told people 5 years ago, hey, I'm going to get the tourism board to sponsor, you know, tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars towards a fighting game event, people would think I'm crazy. And now here we are. Just like I think 5 years from now, there's going to be some wise guy out there that's going to approach a theme park like Six Flags or Walibi World or one of these places and create a tournament at a theme park. It's going to happen. Yep. I always say, whenever I get a bright idea, I'm not naive enough to think that someone else hasn't come with it before me.
Yeah.
There's always someone else must have been thinking this already.
I keep imagining, this is going to sound amazing, right? Because I keep imagining St. Martin's is like Lost, right? The island of Lost.
Oh.
And there's a big cable that's got the internet.
Yes.
And like all the outsiders just all trained together.
Mickey,
all trained
don't.
together in one room and that. And they're just talking bare tactics, and they're just waiting for everyone to come over thinking they're getting the free money. And they're just going to do them all. And they're just going to be like, it's going to be like St. Martin, top 3 in every game. And it's just going to be people just bare upset.
Everyone else messed up.
Okay, gotcha. Let's actually talk about the tournament itself, because
yes,
all this sponsorship is definitely very enlightened, and mad props for actually getting the backing of your country, which again, trying to imagine what sponsorship we actually ever got in the UK, because as you say, we've just gone to the usual channels of joystick makers, and I was having a little rant last week how I kind of think it's a bit silly giving away a joystick as a prize, because most of the people that are playing games nowadays are like pad players, especially the 3D lot, and they probably sell said stick. And I think even the most stupidest prize we even mentioned was they get a copy of the game, which kind of makes... Yeah, that's what I don't get. It's like, why would
I love the getting a copy of the game. Like, I've got like what? 1, 2, 3 copies of Street Fighter there, and I only bought one of them. You know what I mean? What I need 3 copies of the game for?
So, yeah, so then, Rolando, are we going to get joysticks as prizes?
Yeah, you're just gonna get joysticks, and that's all you're getting. That's all, folks. Nah, no way. Like I mentioned, you know, we actually have a very special prize we're working on. We can't talk about it yet. It's a very, very special prize. It has to do with joysticks.
Is it golden?
But we'll let you know very soon. It's gonna be made of coconut. I'm just kidding. We're gonna
Furry.
No, we're gonna have a very special prize that we are giving to the top 2 players of each game. And we'll announce that very soon. It's gonna be a collector's item. I can tell you that. It's gonna be one of the most unique sticks people have ever seen. But other than that, though, we want to make sure people get their cash prizes. Like I said, top 16 payout for the games with the high payouts, such as Street Fighter 4, Marvel vs. Capcom, and Mortal Kombat. The rest of the games are starting at $3,000 guaranteed, which is Persona, Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
Oh wow!
Yes. We also have, what else is it? Tekken is in, Injustice. That's a game that a lot of people were wondering.
Yeah, because you said you've already got a large Mortal Kombat scene, so with the games being quite similar, I imagine that'll get picked up quite well over there.
That is correct. Injustice will be in. I only had stated earlier that I wanted to be completely sure that the game would be out. And I got confirmation from NetherRealms that the game would be released in time. So with that said, it had been added to the list of games that's going to be in. So all of those prizes and stuff, I'm actually going to be on the On Blast show tomorrow, which is, I don't know if you guys have heard of that show, James MK.
Yeah, I was watching On Blast.
Yeah, so if you guys want to hear some more information about the exact prize breakdown, I'm going to break down exactly how the prizes are broken down, who's getting what for first and what for, right down to 16th place. So that people have an idea of what the rewards are for coming other than just the beach. I saw some people on Twitter today saying why are we only focused on the beach or whatever. You have to understand, like I said, being sponsored by the tourism board, you do have to keep a certain element of that in there. You know what I mean? Like, you do have to let people know that it's more than just gaming. That even if you don't come for the tournament, just remember these images so that one day you remember St. Martin as a destination itself. So that we're kind of responsible to make sure that our advertising shows the beach.
Yeah. I remember the trailer you did for your very first one last year, and I'm going to have to admit, your ads to me personally were a breath of fresh air, because I don't know what it is, but recently, especially FGC, with trailers and that, they've become longer and longer to the point that which I think we had the SCR one, which was about, I think, almost 7 or 8 minutes long and stuff, and the recent RFD one, which, while it was mad good, still sort of is in that category of it's a little bit long. Whereas when I remember seeing your first ad, I just remembered, wow, it was just you just taking a journey from the airport to the actual hotel, and I just thought, I love that. That just looked like a really, really wicked journey, because you were just thinking, yeah, man, the whole journey from the airport to the hotel was godlike, because you had that the road by the sea and stuff like that.
Exactly.
And it was just, I can't remember. Were you on a scooter? Was it that one? Yeah. And it was just.
Yep.
Yeah, I just thought.
That's right.
I don't know about you, but you sort of what was that saying? You could say more in pictures than in a million words, or dubsteps in this case. And I was definitely intrigued back then, and I was just thinking, yeah, as much as a lot of the detractors are saying that it's too much emphasis on the beach and venue, but then I was just thinking, wow, that looks awesome. I actually want to go out there and
yeah. Because again, that's we can do the typical, and we are gonna of course have we have to conform to a certain extent. Resistance is futile. We do conform to the Borg way and have given in and know that we're going to do our typical trailers. We had another trailer we ran right after that, which was a player introduction trailer. And I actually enjoyed that trailer very much. I don't know if you saw that one, the Caribbean Battle Royal trailer last year. That was pretty cool. That was more like your typical kind of trailer showing the players off and scenes from the players. We're going to do that again. But we still have some more creative trailers that we want to work on that, again, are not just about the gaming. One of the things I think people are going to be very surprised about for VXG, another thing that makes us completely unique, is an event on Thursday night before VXG begins, before the actual tournament begins, called VXG Casino Royale. This is actually right across the hotel. As part of the hotel, Sinesta owns Casino Royale, which is one of St. Martin's and one of the Caribbean's greatest casinos. And the casino actually will be hosting a gaming event, 8 prize fights, where the winners will win prizes, and the people in the venue can actually bet on the results of the prizes in the casino.
That sounds amazing, man.
100% legally. It's 100% legal. There's
it's like you watch any like US streams now, people are taking bets in the audience all the time. So
yes.
Like, can you imagine that was sanctioned and that was set up?
It is actually sanctioned. It's fair, that because a lot of times, doing it uncontrolled like that can lead to a lot of problems. Gamers doing sites on the side, and sometimes little, I don't want to say fights, but arguments will break up, and but you said we bet 500. No, man, we bet 200. That kind of stuff. Like in this case, you go to the casino, you say, all right, I'm betting on Rolando. Here's $500. That you get your ticket saying that you bet on him. The odds are written on the ticket. If you win, you collect. If you don't, you lose. Well, too bad. Try again next time.
Okay.
And this is going to be the first time on the planet that we've ever had this. So definitely look forward to Casino Royale. That is going to be a very interesting stream as well. Shout outs to Bifuteki and Jaxel, who are going to be holding down the stream for us. And they're gonna. I'm sure we're gonna do a lot of work with the production.
We're gonna bet on Chris G.
I definitely think that is a safe bet. I don't know.
The odds on him though would be so shit. You just get your money back and that's it.
Well, okay, I'll tell you this then. One of the matches that we've already confirmed is an East Coast versus West Coast battle between Marvel versus Capcom. We want to put it a 2-on-2 team tournament that's going to put the debate to rest on neutral ground. You're coming to the Caribbean. You're not on the East Coast. You're not on the West Coast. You're in the Caribbean. You're on a deserted island like Mortal Kombat. Yeah. So now they're in neutral territory, and now they can back it out here. And once and for all, we're going to give a trophy, the Coast Championship. So they will be able to say that they are the best Coast in Marvel with these two players represented. On the West Coast, representing them is Filipino champ and Justin Wong. Going up against going a pretty formidable team, going up against, of course, Chris G, and his teammate will be the one and only IFC Yipes. So that is tough. You can bet.
But like you said, those 4 players, like even at like the last couple of events, are like we're literally like top 4.
Yes.
Well, barring PR Rog, but
yeah. You got to give Justin a certain level of respect for his history, as well as he won SBO last year, and he might not have done as well in Marvel and Majors, but he's still a great player, and I think him and Filipino champ, last year's Evo champ, going up against these two is going to be quite a match. Like it's almost a 50-50 bet. Okay. You can put money on either side, and I don't know who would you guys bet on. Let's see.
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to. Again, because it's going to be in a casino. Hold up, sorry. Because it's going to be in a casino, does that actually mean what? People, when they take their bets, they actually get chips? They'll be like, oh, cool.
Yeah, you get your chips, and then when you're ready to cash out, you take your chips to the cashier, you take your cash, and you leave. Yep, that's how it is.
Oh my god.
But if I was to bet, and I play and watch a lot of Marvel, I'd have to probably go with Chris G, just for consistency. There's the odd event he might not win, but his team is so solid now, and he's such a good player using it. So good. I'd go with Chris G, regardless of who he was partnered with as well. I'd go with Chris G.
You think he's that much dominating?
I just think that in a set against either of those players, that he could come out on top, no problem.
Yeah. I don't know. To me it's a tough bet. And like someone said in the chat, Marvel is always a 50-50 bet because you kind of just never know. But
it had to be Nev as well. Amazing. It's true.
Okay, so.
But no, that sounds amazing, man. That 2v2 with sanctioned betting and East Coast versus West Coast as well. If you just hype that up in trailers and stuff like that, you know, and get the word out there, that'll be fucking crazy. Man.
That is gonna not our next trailer, but the trailer after next will be VXG Casino Royale. We're working on that. We were you guys are in the UK. Maybe you could actually help me out with this. No.
Oh yeah, sure.
Right. Don't tell
me. You need to use a TuneCon Casino Royale as well. By the wise guys, I'll hook you up with that, Rolando.
Oh, okay. Get me that.
Oh,
Daniel Craig in the trailer.
That's what I want to talk to you guys about. I want Daniel Craig in our trailer.
No problem. Let me just get my phone out. 1 second.
Well, I'll get on Twitter and
because in Britain, we all live next door to the Queen and the Beckhams and Daniel Craig. They all live in the same.
I can get Gaza. Do you want Gaza in your trailer?
I was told that everyone in England pretty much knows each other. So like.
Yeah, with that small of a country, yeah.
So I figure you guys can, shout him out, give him a little call, and let him know that we want in the trailer. Because I think it would be perfect. Casino Royale, James Bond in the Casino Royale trailer would be the most godlike thing ever.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Rolando. For the people who can't go to the beach, is there going to be a stream?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
We have two guys that could be streaming. Like I mentioned, Beefateki. He was streamed it last year. We were very happy that he came down. When we were a tournament that not many people knew. And then we also have Jaxel from 8-Way Run. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he streamed the Soul Calibur World Championships.
Yeah, he does 3D games. Yeah.
He streamed Soul Calibur World Championship last year. Did he stream that, Jaxel?
I'm not sure.
He streamed that one. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right. Well, no, I was wondering. I know he's big in the Soul Calibur. I was wondering if he had streamed that. But this will. There are two streamers that we've met with several times. I've been to the qualifiers and. While they're not the typical big-named players out there, I do hope you guys, everyone out there gives them a shot. I think they're going to do a good job. And me, I'm a person that, one thing in my study, it's in my personal living as well as in business, I like to support underdogs. I like to give, because I myself started as an underdog. The Caribbean is an underdog, as a region, we're an underdog. And I like to support, people that are not to say that I wouldn't support the major ones as well, but if I have the opportunity to help someone that shows that they really want to grow and they're committed and they're serious, I definitely like to support that kind of scene. That's why we support Empire Arcadia. They were going through some rough times and people were giving them a hard time. People gave us a hard time for supporting them, but I believed in what Triforce was putting together, and I think he's already shown that he's doing a good job, having signed Dominion. And actually on Wednesday, there's going to be another huge player. I mean, humongous player that's coming in that I think is going to blow everyone away when they hear who this player is that has been signed.
Revelations.
To EMP. So we'll see on Wednesday. It's going to be on Spooky Stream. We're going to talk about that. So other than that, we're going to continue to just try and support, or if we can, and support all the underdog players. Hadoshrooms, I think you better get the Marvel going, because when you get to that qualifier, if you don't win, I'm going to be very disappointed in you.
I'll win the Street Fighter one, though.
All right, you got to win those qualifiers, man. I want you.
I will, brother. I will.
Okay. Just getting back to the tournament. So.
Yeah.
So what is because I remember hearing from other streams you get quite a package heading out to VXG. You get vouchers, I believe, so we get some considerable discounts in some of the venues and that.
Yes. Now what we do with the registration fee is not your typical venue fee that would normally be like $50 or $60. We charge a higher venue fee. A of 100. Well, it's not a venue fee really. We charge a fee of $120, but that includes all your transportation during your stay. So
Whoa.
if you to the airport, coming from the airport, you're going to the parties, you're going to the beaches, your transportation is covered. There's a scheduled shuttle service that you'll receive, so you can know exactly what time the buses or the taxi.
I swear to God, man, this sounds like the perfect tournament. Like, it just sounds so good. Everything sounds too good to be true.
It sounds more like a package holiday rather than a tournament, because, you know, normally, again, a good example is I'm going to this tournament in Scotland at the end of the month, and obviously I had to, like, get planes, I had to get the hotel. To me, it just sounds like package holiday now, Don.
Yeah, because this is what we do. This is the good thing about us being tourism professionals is that, you know, while, you know, there might be a question as to whether we can do the tournament, I think no one can question our hospitality and our ability to make sure everyone is very, very well taken care of. So I'm definitely going to be personally making sure that everyone's well taken care of in terms of what they get in their package. It also includes all of the parties. So every night.
Parties.
Now, that's the thing about VXG. The entire island knows about Video X games, and this is something that shocks a lot of people. Is that when you go out to VXG, you're going to meet a lot of people that are not even gamers, but they are so, you know, our island is always intrigued by events. For example, this weekend we had an event called the Heineken Regatta, which is one of the world's biggest boat races. And you know, I went out. I've never sailed a boat in my life, but we all go out to the parties and to the events, or we watch the boat race on the beach and so on, because it's just another event that the island, like, we feel is ours. St. Martin people, old and young, have embraced this event as their event, and they all go out to these massive parties, and you find yourself interacting not just gamers, but gamers with average island people, with other tourists from other countries. You know, it's quite a melting pot when it comes to the festivities. That is why we start our tournaments no earlier than 10 a.m. We don't end any later than 7 p.m. We actually aim to end at 6, because we don't want to do the type of tournament that runs all the way into the night, and then all you do is stay in the venue, go to your room.
No, man, I totally agree with that. I hate, because like you get no time to socialize or anything like that. It's literally just people are knackered and they're fucked, and they just go straight to bed and then they're back up. You know what I mean? Finishing earlier.
Wake up next day and then you're off.
People have time to go somewhere afterwards. Talk about what they did during the day. You know, meet people they wouldn't normally speak to.
Yep, that's definitely what we try to create. So you know, we want to make sure that, you know, you got, it's not mandatory, it's included. So if you don't go, you don't go, but your wristband that you receive actually gives you access to all of the parties. So that is something else that is a bit of an extra thing here. Breakfast is also included. We package the breakfast deal.
Breakfast?
Yeah.
You get breakfast as well. Does it get any better? Like, I don't understand. It's hurting my head right now.
You get a buffet breakfast.
Buffet?
Included. It's a buffet breakfast. So yeah, you do get quite a lot when you go to this to this event. And you know, at first when people see the $120, they're like, what? Well, how can that be the venue fee? Then when they read what's included, oh my God, that's a steal of a deal for a venue fee. Because I mean, let's say for example, not this time, because normally I would rent a car if I go to a tournament, but one of the qualifiers I went to UMACON, that was in Detroit. I took a taxi from the airport to the venue. That was $35. To go back to the airport was another $35. It's $70. You know, so that alone, you know, having to spend that kind of money, just trying to transport yourself, if there's no organized transportation, is an extra cost. Because we're a tourism entity, we can package it and get the cost extremely low, to the point where what it would normally cost you guys like $20 to get from the airport to the hotel, we get it down to like $2 or $3 because we package it as one whole package sale. And that now we translate back to you in your registration fee, and we just include it.
Well, it's amazing. It's amazing what you've got set up. Was it yourself who set it up, like initially when it first started out?
I'm actually the one, like I say, because due to my tourism background, I understand the business. I understand what's expected in order to create such packages, what's fair deals, and to make the negotiations. It's a lot of tense negotiation, because you know, you're trying to scrap the dollar, and they're like, well, no, we'll charge $5 a head, and I'm like, no, we only want to pay $2 a head, and so we got to find a find a middle ground, and eventually we come to an agreement with the bus companies and the taxi drivers. With the breakfast, the same thing. The hotel wants to charge $20. We want you guys to be able to eat for $5. So we're like, okay, come on, but we're bringing so many people to your hotel. Yeah, but our hotel, we have to pay cooks, and yeah, but this is an event in the off season, and they're like, yeah, but still we have to pay for the food. So the debate happens, and then eventually we come to a point. Now, those negotiations, in the end, just kind of help you guys, because it's something, again, this is another thing I think tournaments should do. I know Big E did it, for example, at Winter Brawl and NEC, where you can go to the restaurant downstairs and get specials. If you show your pass, you can get some special. Like, that kind of thing is necessary. I think more tournaments should do that, I think, and, try and package things for the gamers so that the cost can go down a bit. Because in the end, when it is pretty expensive to travel out of Europe to come here. But I think relatively, it's probably on average about 1,000 euros out of England.
No, but from the fucking sound of it, man, it sounds like it'd be amazing. Like, regardless, of the money, you want to have a good time.
I need to find out where this flight's coming from, Rolando, because the ones I looked at were nothing like that. We need to hook up with some sort of. We need to find out where the cheapest flight is from the UK. That's what.
Yeah, I mean, I've been scouting online. Yeah, no, I wish EasyJet used to come here.
Oh, what?
No, EasyJet, unfortunately, is only in Europe, I think. I don't think they fly transatlantic. So, but I think your best bet is probably going via New York, because there's so many flights that there are probably like 40 to 50 flights a day coming out of London going to New York, or from different parts of the UK going to New York, because of the business relationship, and there's people, travel there very often. And because there's such a high supply, there are probably some cheap tickets you can find in between there somewhere. When me and Jay...
You have a cheap flight, don't you, from New York to the island?
Yeah, and then exactly. And we have JetBlue that has a discounted fare for us. Right now, that's as low as $450. So you find a ticket for about like 600 euros or so to get to New York. You probably make the entire trip for under 1,000 euros. It is more expensive than your typical tournament, I must admit. But we think that if for people that really want to be able to afford a vacation style and a tournament, what's really good about this tournament too, it's a tournament you can come to with your family. You can come if you have a wife or if you have a girlfriend, you can bring it down here, because she's not going to complain about having to lie on the beach while you're playing video games. She's not going to complain about going shopping duty-free, tax-free shopping here on the island while you're, in the tournament, or staying in the resort rather than just a little hotel. So it is a great tournament, and we're actually going to be putting together couples packages, because we did get a lot of requests for that. Like, hey, like if I come with my girl, what do I have to pay? So I'm like,
package, my God.
Yeah, so for anyone that comes with their girlfriend, or if a girl comes with her boyfriend, they can get a couples package, which includes a dinner, a romantic dinner for two, and
What? I'm about to get this for some of the guys, man.
Rolando, please. How many packages did you think of? It's like, did you just Oh, sorry.
Yeah, this is what we do in tourism, man. We try to think of creative ways.
Zach Bennett and Reinhardt on a date, couples package.
That's blatant. Oh, that's totally sick.
Okay. One more thing before we move on. Somebody in the chat mentioned, are drinks included in that in the entry fees?
Actually, well, your first drink's on VXG.
Oh, the first drink. Okay. In that case, mine would be a mojito.
You get a little ticket, and with that ticket, you go to the bar, and mojito. Nice. That's actually my favorite drink.
Oh, Evie, let's get it in his fucking hand now.
You got good taste, and being so close to Cuba, I believe it would be the genuine thing for once. As opposed to this horrible,
that's the
ready-made one.
No, you don't need to do that. We do mojitos by scratch. We put the mint leaves in there, the sugar, we grind it down, the alcohol, mix it up, shake it up,
lovely.
Ice. I think I'm gonna have a mojito right after this, as a matter of fact.
What are you doing in July, Skirmish? You want to go on a date?
Again, this has only just become an option like this year, because I only just recently got my passport sorted out, and actually, Yeah, is St. Martin's actually is it actually was it
International?
No, well,
Yes.
yeah, okay.
You do need a passport to go there, so you're right about that. Everyone that wants to come, you got to make sure you work on your passport.
Gotcha.
But from my experience, like what's interesting about St. Martin, something that people don't know, is that it's an island that's divided in two. It's owned by the Dutch and the French.
Oh, I thought it was
The
a British.
north
Sorry. Yes, gotcha.
Yeah, the north half of the island is French. The southern half is Dutch. The tournament actually takes place on the Dutch side of the island. But either way, although you're technically traveling within the European Union, because you're going overseas, you still need a passport.
Okay.
So it's not like you need a visa or anything, but your passport gets you free access into the country.
That's good.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, because I was wondering about that, because again, I literally haven't gotten an airplane ever, well, until the end of this month, and hopefully it doesn't burn down in flames, but anyway, so, okay, that's definitely good to know then, because I believe going to America is a bit more tricky now, funny enough.
Well, that's the thing now. I mean, I'm gonna be biased to say this, but I don't care. It's my tournament, so I'll do it anyway. But I mean, for those people that have been choosing to go to EVO for many years, if you've gone there before, you might want to give yourself a different chance this year. I know that our tournament is not going to have as many players as EVO. It doesn't have the pedigree of EVO. But I'm just saying, if you've been wondering, maybe I need something different, that's what VXG is. VXG is something different. It's going to give you the gaming experience you look for, but on top of that, the entertainment, the vacation, the atmosphere, the warmth.
That's the thing. That's your big selling point. Your big selling point is the vacation. It's amazing. Like, I've never heard anything like it. I've been playing fighting games the last 10 years, and your event is nothing like everybody else's, and it sounds amazing as well.
Yep. That's what we try to go for, and I'm happy to hear that you guys like what we put together. And like I said, I know a lot of people are going to be heading over there, but couldn't say she has another option if you want to go out and compare the prices. I'm pretty sure going to Las Vegas is probably just as expensive to coming here. So, how many people from the UK you think normally go to EVO? I'm curious about that.
Not that many, because at the top of my head, I think I could only account of 2 people this year, and the year before that, off the top of my head, there was about 3, although some of them were like sponsored, so they were flying anywhere, like Ryan.
Yeah, there's a bunch of sponsored players like Ryan Hart, who obviously are going to go regardless. So the real big UK names are sort of guaranteed.
They'll go to EVO. I honestly think more people would go to the beach than go to EVO. You're definitely convincing them.
I ain't going EVO, but this beach and free breakfast sounds pretty good to me.
All right, cool, man. Well, if you make it down here, I'll make sure they make an extra special breakfast just for you.
Okay. Yeah, Rolando. I'm just curious because again, you're everywhere. Because like I said, you're funding. Like I said, Battle Circuit. You're funding. Was it Cross Counter Live? Personal favorite show of mine. And and obviously it did get me intrigued, but I was just trying to find some data, and I don't know, it's really hard to get a hold of and stuff like that. So I was just curious, what was the turnout at the last tournament last year?
We had 128 international gamers. Let me see, am I correct? Yeah, we had 128 international gamers and about 300 local gamers. The venue we were at last year was a smaller venue, so we had to be very careful. We had to actually cap out the local tournament. And that's why we also did not advertise so much internationally, because we didn't want to alienate the usual 100 or so Caribbean gamers that come.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, but now that we proved last year that, hey, tourism board, we've shown you for several years now, this tournament can be something big for the island. They've given us the mecca of all venues Caribbean-wise, which is Sinesta, Maho Beach. It's an amazing resort. It's great. It's huge. It's wonderful, and it's going to be completely owned by gamers that week, because July, particularly end of July, is a slow season for the island. So we're going to be completely taking over the hotel that weekend, and the entire area, the area of Maho, the district. It's right close to the airport. Actually, what you guys should do is, if you go on YouTube and you check, it's like Maho Beach airport, and if you do that, you'll see the insanely unique beach that we have here. Just choose anyone.
Yeah, Again, it's oh damn! 'Cause I just remember the videos that were coming out from from Mike Frost and Gutex, and it was like those beaches looked impossibly white. You know, sort of proper white sandy beaches. You know, literally white sand, and it's like because obviously the thing you got to understand is I come from London, and our local beaches they're effing pebbles. Yeah, i.e. you'll get your feet cut try to tread on those beaches, but that beach looked mighty comfortable.
That beach
Is
looks
that where the
amazing.
plane flies so low to the ground?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes, that's the one. It was featured on Ripley's Believe It or Not.
it's amazing. You look at the pictures, like
Yeah, it was voted world's number one beach. So this is
number one beach
right in the
world.
back. Yeah, the number one beach in the world according to USnews.com. And if you look in the background, there's actually a video. There's a little clips in the video. You can actually see the venue, which is Sinestamajo. So it's a very interesting place to be. You can take some really nice pictures and check that out. So just for you people, go check it out on YouTube. And also, can I post links in the chat?
Yeah, sure.
yeah, man. Go
I
for it.
didn't. Yeah, go ahead, man. Okay.
All right,
So we've covered. Okay, that's a mighty strong sales pitch. So you're going to have an almighty payout. The numbers are pretty decent by the sounds of it, because
Yeah.
if last year was
Next year we're expecting about at least in total number of gamers at least 1,000. We're expecting about 700 international gamers, and we always get about 300 local. So it's about 1,000 people. So it's not a huge tournament like Evo, but that's good because we don't want to. We would probably eventually cap our tournament at like 2,000 at most, simply because we don't want to take away from the experience. Our interest is more in the experience than the numbers. It's quality over quantity for us, because it doesn't really matter if only even 100 people show up. We just want to make sure that those 100 people have the absolute most amazing time of their life. So our goals are much different than most gaming organizations, in that because we don't rely on the number of people that come, their entry fees and their venue fees and so on. It doesn't really matter as much. We just really want the people that do come to have a great time.
okay. Time for some techie questions.
Sure.
Is it going to be on PS3s or 360s?
It's a bit of a mix. All the Capcom games are on Xbox.
Okay.
Tech-
Make them, please. Yeah.
Yeah, Tekken and Mortal Kombat, I believe, on PS3. Persona, I think, is on PS3.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
And I think the only games that were on Xbox were the Capcom games. So Cross Tekken.
No, that's good. That's definitely the way it is for most events.
Yeah.
Namco Tekken has always been on PS3, and
Yeah.
Capcom, especially with the current issues with lag on Marvel for PS3 version.
That's right. That's what I went to Apex and I experienced it live and firsthand when the game started to lag, and it was pretty bad. And I want to avoid as much drama as I can, and I try to make sure that we run a tournament that doesn't cause too much confusion. We want to make sure that people have a good time.
Okay. I take it you have some really nice lag-free monitors then?
Oh, definitely. We have Asus 236H, as well as a 238H, which is the LED version. We have about a 50-50 mix, but we've done testing on both monitors, and the LED and LCD both are Athens. So that works out fine. It's just that I think eventually Asus is going to start making a little bit less. I think they're going to stop doing the LCDs and start switching over to LED. The only thing with the LED is that the sound isn't as good on the LCDs. But in any case, we will put speakers on all of the systems anyway.
Oh, gotcha.
Wow.
Would there be provisions, because I know it's especially popular with some top players now, for them to bring their own headsets? Will you like hubs where you can plug them in and stuff?
Yes, we actually beef with Techie. I asked him at Winter Brawl last week, and he told me about the converter. So we're going to be purchasing several of those converters to make sure people can use their own headsets.
Okay. Excellent.
It all sounds so perfect.
Yeah, I'm going to put my Rolando Brison. Yeah, I just put my Skype name in the chat for those of you really interested in coming to the event, and you especially from Europe, because we don't have any travel packages. I would have to actually put your package together myself. So if you're really seriously interested in coming to VXG, add me on Skype. We can discuss it, and I can go out and find you the best rates and everything. What is also a possibility is if there's only, let's say, for example, there's only one person that's traveling on his own, and he wants to be able to bunk with someone else to save on the hotel costs. I can do something like that as well. You know, I can kind of hook them up and try to find roommates, so to speak.
This is.
I'll just sleep on the beach. I'd rather just sleep on the beach every night. It looks that good.
I'll be honest with you. There was one night, the last night, Sunday night, where like about 12 of us slept on the beach.
Whoa.
It was about because we went to the final party, so now all the games is over. On Sunday night, it's a beach party at night. Literally on the beach, where, like I said, the entire comes out, thousands of people, a great concert, great artists, and so on performing, and of course we're having a great time on the beach. But by the time it was walking distance from the beach to the hotel, so we walked straight down the beach, and we came in front, and we saw the beach chairs. We sat down on the beach chairs, and I remember it was Burn Your Bra. It was some of the guys from Trinidad. Who else was there? The leader of DMG, Jose. And we just kind of passed out right there. It was the morning sun woke us up like about 7 o'clock in the morning when the sun started to rise, and we were like, "Oh shit, we fell asleep on the beach." Damn.
You know, I've got this other mental image.
That sounds better.
Oh yeah, Gutex fell asleep on the beach too. Okay. This is one of my boys here from Trinidad. Shout outs to Treat Gamers, one of the main organizations that actually put stuff together when it comes to the Trinidad gaming scene. He reminded me, Gutex fell asleep on the beach, but. Carl, Perfect Legend, fell asleep under a piano.
Whoa!
I don't know if you guys saw that. Saw that when he fell asleep. There's a picture of him. There's like a piano in the hotel, and somehow he decided he's gonna go right under that piano. He brought a pillow from his hotel room and slept there. Yeah, believe that.
Oh man. Okay. Oh man.
I'm gonna put. There's actually is a promo code.
Oh, okay. We got promo codes now.
Yeah, this promo code is for the hotel. Oh, did it get dropped? Oh, how did it get dropped? This first one is for the hotel if you just want the breakfast included, and this is VXG all.
Yeah, hold up. I can probably bring up. I'll probably bring it up on the PC screen if it loads up. Come on, load! Don't fail me, Virgin Internet.
This right here are the two promo codes. One is a regular rate, and one is the promo code rate. And yeah, that would include everything you need. So all you basically need is airfare, this promo code, and your registration, which can be done on our website, www.thevideoxgames.com.
Okay. Don, you've pretty much got it all surrounded, haven't you? Because it just, if by the sounds of it, if you can, please do indeed go. Because, like I said, again, I'm kind of speechless because again, this is just going.
Yeah, before you came on, Roland, I didn't really know too much about VXG, and you hear about Evo all the time and SCR and all that, but it sounds so far and away better and different. It's something totally unique. I just think that it'd be great if we could just sort of everyone help get the name out there, VXG. Just get people traveling to it because I'm definitely interested.
And I really appreciate that sentiment. I just want people to understand too. VXG is it's a event that is built to advertise our island. Therefore, we are not interested in making money off of gamers. We are not interested in just collecting fees, and that's why our payouts in our second year being an international tournament has already reached $85,000. And that's why we've come to that level, because what we get, we give it back out, because all we want from you is for you to come to the event, enjoy our island, and have the time of your life. That is in itself, you taking that experience with you is more valuable than any money you can bring to the island, because this is a marketing venture to get the word about our island out there. So, and if you can't make it to the event, it's okay. But please tune into the stream. Please support the stream. Get it out there. And we would really appreciate it. Like someone said, there's flights for $977. I don't know what currency he's talking about, though. If that's pounds, then that's really expensive. I'm sure they're cheaper. They're cheaper fares than that. If it's euros, that might be about right. No, that is
get a name out there, tweets, and
Okay then. Yeah. Wow. Like I said, you got everything covered. But before you go, just a couple of questions.
Sure.
Yeah, curious. So, what is your game then? I'm just curious.
My game is Street Fighter in terms of fighting games. Now, I pride myself. I don't know if anyone here has ever played Super Punch Out.
Yeah, I'm of that generation. Yeah, what are the original?
Killed Gabby J in about 3 seconds or something.
Oh, okay. Well, you see, interesting. Gabby J. Remember in Gabby J, he says his record is 1-99.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I consider myself the Gabby J of Street Fighter tournaments because I've been to so many tournaments. I've been to at least 100 tournaments, and I've only won one tournament in my life. So I call myself, yeah. And so I'm the Gabby J of Street Fighter. I play Blanca, not exactly the most high tier character. And
yeah, God. Okay.
I stopped playing. I was very much the tournament I won was in Alpha 3, which was actually
game.
That was actually my best game. Then Third Strike came out. Street Fighter 3 came out, and lo and behold, where's Blanca? Where is there anything even remotely similar to Blanca? So and my other character was Brison. Where's Brison in Street Fighter 3? So I was completely upset with Street Fighter 3. I was like, to hell with this game. This game is ass. I just stopped playing the game completely, and that's when I started getting into PC games. And then lo and behold, Street Fighter 4 came out, and it was an amazing game. But I always liked the game, but I was now behind a bit. So it took me some time to catch up. But the thing is with organizing tournaments, and I think any tournament organizer can tell you, to be able to play on a high level and organize tournaments of this extent, it's pretty hard, I gotta say. And yes, I played Blanca and Brison in Alpha 3. Brison was my first character ever. Actually, no, I used to play T-Hawk, and then I realized it was a guy that almost had my last name, which is Brison. And so I was like, how can I not be playing this character? And I didn't like charge characters at the time. I like characters like T-Hawk and Zangief because I like spinning around the control and grabbing and throwing people. Yeah. I really enjoy doing that, But then I started playing Brison. That's when I got into charge characters. And eventually, Brison wasn't really cutting it for me. But in Super Turbo and in Street Fighter, Blanca was so godlike compared to Brison. So I really enjoyed. That's when I kind of switched to Blanca. And then, in Alpha 3, he was just Blanca was to me S tier. I don't know why people. People used to pick Sagat and Akuma and stuff, but I think Blanca was godlike in that game.
Did you ever play? Did you ever play CVS 2?
Oh yeah, CVS 2 was another
you
game.
you would find that Blanca was quite
yes,
quite good.
he was also very good. I also used to play that game. Never won a tournament in it. Actually, no, I actually won a tournament, but I don't count it because I'm only talking major tournaments. But I won some local tournaments and so. But CVS 2, I used to play Blanca, Joe, and Cammy. So I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, of course, Cammy, of course. Best.
Yeah.
I love that throw range, i.e. just walk forward, tap.
Yeah.
Standing fierce is +10 on block and hit. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was retarded. I was thinking, wow, I'm counter hitting people out of their dragon punches.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Yeah. And then also you had Joe. Joe wasn't particularly high tier, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
No, he was quite low mid.
Yeah, but he had his ultra. If someone wasn't out with C group for the air blocks, you could catch someone with that whirlwind, that hurricane ultra, and really mess up. And the chip damage, the chip damage with double hurricane can cause a lot of problem as a middle character to kind of, okay, I got a lead, so let me just spam some hurricanes, and if they try and jump in, do the ultra. Worst case scenario, you get a lot of chip as well. So he was my little cheap character I used to like, but my main character was Blanca in that game. He was godlike.
Yeah.
Okay, so just Street Fighter is nothing else. None of the air dashing games ever caught your fancy, or that was it? Or you were just sticking on the Capcom.
Kind of went into Guilty Gear for a while.
Yes,
that's classic.
Oh man, I used to play Potemkin and Soul Bad Guy. But
yeah.
I was the definition of bad guy in that game because I was just really, really bad. There was something about the game I just couldn't really get into the mechanics of it. So it never caught on to me. And that was at the period of my life. I was doing an internship in Barbados, and in that island, PC gaming was actually huge, and that's where I got introduced into PC gaming. And I started actually during that 6-month internship to kind of get away from fighting games, and I started playing more PC games. Okay. It was also around the time when there was the demise of arcades, which in the Caribbean again.
Yeah, I want to hear about this. Yeah.
Yeah, in the Caribbean, it happened much earlier in the Caribbean than it did for you guys, because, you know, we were holding on to, like, when everyone was playing Tekken 5, DR and stuff, we were still on Tekken 3 cabinets and Tekken 4. Like, you know, yeah, it's pretty sad in terms of the arcades. But it's funny that just when a new company called Time Out came in, and they started building arcades all over the Caribbean. They would build the arcades at theaters. So that was their marketing strategy, that they would build these nice arcades at theaters so that people could buy packages and go watch a movie, and then you get like $5 of tokens as well at a discounted price, and you could play and stuff. But they unfortunately didn't survive. And the last time out in Puerto Rico, I don't know if any of my friends from Puerto Rico are in the chat, but I believe what was the last time out closed in one of the big malls about 3 years ago. And I have to say, like, I used to go to that arcade and so much as a kid, and like, not to be corny or anything, but when I walked into that arcade expecting that it was open and I just saw a big piece of plywood covering the entrance, a tear fell down my eye, because it was like, wow, just that's it. Like, what happened to the years that I've been coming to this arcade, you know, and just playing, and now just like that, they just decide, okay, it's closed. You know, there was
definitely, man. You attach yourself to it, don't you?
Yeah, there is an attachment, an emotional attachment that a lot of people in Puerto Rico particularly had to that arcade. And being that my parents have a house in Puerto Rico, I used to go there very often, and they would go and do their shopping thing and just leave me at that Time Out arcade at Plaza Las Americas. And that's where I never could play Marvel 2, but I could sit and watch that game and watch people play that game for hours. It was such a wonderful game to watch people play. And, you know, all the memories of Marvel 2 and all that stuff started to come back to me. And, yeah, it's a pity that arcades did die down. And to this day, there's no real arcade on the island. We have had to struggle very hard to keep gamers doing what we do. Again, we're very creative. Our casual gaming takes place at a bar called the Soggy Dollar Bar, which it's a bar that we set up every Sunday. Yeah, we set up the bar every Sunday. What's normally the dance floor becomes our gaming area. It's from Sunday from 4 p.m. until midnight, and currently we do it every 2 weeks. So we skip a Sunday. But in May, when it becomes closer to VXG around the early May, we start doing every single Sunday. And has become pretty much our local arcade. We have to bring our console, but it's a lot of work, as you can imagine, you know, moving stuff around, setting up, you know, and we try to do it as part of the VXG Foundation, kind of our thing to give back to the local gaming community so that they can still stay in touch with the gaming.
Yeah, can I just, do you know what the bizarre thing is? Every time, because obviously ever since I've started doing weekly content about the FGC, it's just sort of amazes me when every time I hear stories about the FGCs, especially in other countries, it's all the same. It's just people just wanting to just come together and play computer games. It's just, I mean, even to be honest, it scares it even scares the hell out of me. It's almost the same demographic, because when I hear about French players and all that, I always assume, okay, it's probably a racist sort of stereotype, but, you know, it'd be some, you know, white guy wearing a blue striped stuff with onions around his neck. But then you see players like Alion and Kiane, and it's like, if they didn't speak French, you would just think they're just Londoners. And then,
yeah,
I know, it's like the same thing whenever I see streams across in America, especially 8 on the break, and it really not baffles, it amazes me that their numbers are just really the same as our numbers. You know, most nights we only get like 15 people, sometimes 20, and it's like, and again, the people I see on stream, I'm just thinking, if you just change their accents, they could just easily be British. It's just, I don't know, I just think the FGC probably is just, I don't even know what the word for it is. We are just the same community, just separated by language.
Yeah, I think the trends of what we want, because if there's something that's so strongly in common, which is fighting games, I think it's definitely the case that we would find ourselves where we want to do more than just we don't want to segregate. Eventually, we see that there's similarities in all that we do, and what I like about the fighting games is, again, even though we take it very seriously, there's so much moments where we can just relax and have fun and like troll a bit. You know what I mean? It's a fun community. That's what I love about the FGC. It's a legitimately fun community. When I've been to, like I said, many tournaments around the world, but the most fun I've had, actually the most fun tournament I've ever been to, and this is no offense to any other tournament, was YumaCon in Detroit, which actually,
okay,
yeah, it was an anime convention, but they had a tournament called YumaCon Battle Opera. It's Detroit's biggest anime convention, but then they do a tournament at the convention, and that was so much fun because here we are, and there's like different things to see all over the place. So I had a lot of fun with that. I like tournaments that offer more than just gaming, and FGC tournaments, you always have that. You're gonna have the money matches, you're gonna have the exhibitions, you're gonna have the pop-offs, you're gonna have the people that you hang out with and have drinks with or whatever. Yep.
No, I can definitely say it is. I don't know, because it's because obviously there's a lot of politics in fighting games or whatever, especially no different in the UK. And, there's this I'd say this dividing line at the moment where some people are treating it more like a social event, and whereas others, no, they take it really super seriously, and that it's like you have to do everything it takes to win. Like you shouldn't even be you shouldn't even be making content. You should just be keeping your tech to yourself and all that. But I can definitely say, for me at least, that it is definitely the people that's the reason why. Whoa, what the hell was that?
Oh, was that on my end? I don't know.
Okay, never mind. But I can definitely say it is definitely the people, and like I said, the FGC sometimes is a scary community because we got this group called the Syndicate. They look like a scary bunch, They look like they will proper rob you with nothing. But it's just when I remembered, certain incident at Winners Days.
You calling them thugs?
Well, I guess. But the thing is, I just remember a certain incident. I just heard in the corner of my ear say, "Hey," it says, I just heard him say, "Hey, go easy on that guy, he won't come back." And I was just thinking, I actually remember, I remember times in the arcade you would always go easy on people because obviously it's no fun just blowing up, especially since it costs money in that. And I just think, but then the cynical side, the kind that says, no, you've got to do whatever it takes to win. No, that's a bad thing. They're going to learn. You got to body them so that they'll come back angrier and, they'll be stronger. But
there's always a couple different ways to look at it.
But it's just, I can definitely say, for me at least, the FGC, the camaraderie is definitely a big part of it. And that it's just, again, the games. We obviously play fighting games, but definitely. Okay, I guess we've covered all our bases then. I guess in that case, before we close up, have we got any questions in the chat? Because normally we have a questions plus answer section, and like I said, we'll probably close it up. So if anybody in Stream Monsterland got a question, please shoot away while we got this our first time ever, our first international guest. So we got any questions?
Let's see. Oh yes, Metallic Mike said yes. He has a question. Let's see. Why hasn't so he wants to know why hasn't Triforce sponsored him yet. He needs to put in the work and send his resume to Triforce as soon as possible.
Does he need 2 power gloves?
He needs some extensive power glove training. I need to see that. I need to see his skills in power glove ability.
Can you get a power glove for your left hand as well as your right one?
Actually, you can. I asked Triforce that the other day. So, yeah,
oh, no.
they designed it with different hands in mind. Pretty crazy, but it's true. Okay. So man, you gotta go. You gotta work your way up the EMP ranks. Actually, with the VXG Elite thing, it's actually a division of Empire Arcadia. That's something a lot of people asked about, and it's like I said, it's elite. It's players that have been a part of EMP or have been a part of VXG for some way or the other, and that is why they get the privilege of being on that. It's quite a select group. Not to say it won't expand. Next sponsorship season after this year's VXG, it's possible that they expand. But that's what Fenix is for. That's why EMP also strategically partnered with Fenix, which can be the kind of the development league to see, okay, which of the players are potential to make it up to VXG.
Okay. I got a question since, well, it's my own damn show. Yeah, I'm curious. When you buy consoles and that, are you actually sort of, what region are you in? Are you sort of like in the US region? So if a game comes out in the US, you will inevitably get it?
Yeah, we're US region, NTSC.
Ah, okay, cool. Okay, cool. What else then? Oh, actually, no. I was supposed to go somewhere with that. I've forgotten what it was. What now?
What is CCL? Oh, Cross Counter Live. Okay, how is it? Oh, it's really good. Cross Counter is sponsored by VXG. We managed to help Gutex get back on the air. They're busy making some changes to the show. Just trying to adjust the show, kind of get it up to the times. But I'm confident in Gutex. Gutex always delivers, so he is definitely going to be putting it back on the air very soon.
Okay.
And so that's the answer to that question. Is it going to be another VXG qualifier in the US? The next VXG qualifier is going to be at Final Round, which is in Atlanta. I think everyone knows that tournament. And then the following one will be ECT, East Coast Throwdown. Those are the ones we are talking about. What else? Any other questions here in the chats?
Okay.
I think we're good.
Okay. No. Okay. I guess we close it up. No. That was it. That's where I was going with the NTS reason. Now, the reason why I ask is, because I remember I was having a conversation with a mate from Mexico, and how really bloody expensive importing stuff from the US is. So, exactly what are the prices like then for? As I think you mentioned before, the Dominican Republic. 2 months' wages for a PS3, blimey. So, if you were to like buy a Mad Catz joystick, exactly how expensive would it be in, say, St. Martin's then, let's say then?
Actually, well, in terms of generally electronics is cheaper here on the island. The only exception actually turns out to be video games. The reason is that in the US, right, when you notice a game would come out, it'd be at $60, and then like a month later, or even in UK or any major country, then all of a sudden it will drop to 50 and then 40 and then 30 and so on. That doesn't happen in St. Martin because they don't have those agreements with the game developers and the publishers the way GameStop and all of these big companies do. So unfortunately, when a video game store buys a game here at $50, that price stays at $50. Yeah. So you would go to a store and they might discount it a bit, like they might take 10 or 15 bucks off the top. But generally speaking, most gamers here order our stuff directly from the States when it comes to gaming. However, I can tell you, cameras, headsets, telephones, laptops, a lot of that stuff is cheaper here simply because we have no sales tax. St. Martin is a duty-free island, means that anything you buy, there's no. I know in Amsterdam it's 19%. In some states it's 14%. I don't know what the sales tax is in. You guys have a name for it. They have it like that in Barbados too. VAT, value added tax.
Yeah, that's it. Yes.
Right, that. What is that now in the UK?
20%. Yeah.
Holy shit. Okay,
yeah, it's a lot. Yeah.
So definitely you will see that if you buy like if any of you want to buy like a camera or something like that, it would be cheaper here. If you want to buy like a screen, an Asus monitor will probably cost you cheaper here. A lot of those stuff. Clothing is cheaper here. You'll get genuine name brand clothing here at a cheaper price than you probably would in England. So I would say, especially for those you guys traveling with a girl or something, you're gonna have to walk with some shopping money, and even if you come on your own, get that shopping money ready.
Okay.
No, that's good.
All right. Okay. I guess we're out of questions, and all that's left is thank you very much, Rolando, Brison, for popping on my humble little stream. Again, totally unexpected and very, very enlightening. And again.
Yeah,
so,
definitely. I just want to say, like, it's been one of the. I watch a lot of the streams that we do, and well, the General Skirmish does, and this has definitely been one of the most interesting ones to learn so much about your community and how you guys set up and how you set up the event. So I want to say thank you for coming on the show as well, Rolando.
I'm very much happy that I could be here. I mean, like I said, this is my first time, learning about your show. I know Hadoshroom was the one who introduced me about it, and then I kind of saw it on Twitter and stuff. And it's just that is, we're so fortunate that we live in this time and this boom that we have with social media, because 10 years ago, there's no way we would have been able to do this, and we would have had to go to CNN or BBC to be able to have a conversation like this so that the public could see. But here we are having this just thanks to good old technology. So I'm very happy that we're able to do this. And anytime you guys want to have me on and have some more questions later on, I'll be happy to come back on.
Oh, darn.
Yeah.
Again,
Probably what we should do once I finalize the UK qualifier. I'll have a talk with James to make sure he has everything set on his end. And once that is done, maybe me and Armhouse TV can come on and tell you guys what's in store for the UK qualifier for VXG.
Okay,
that's fantastic.
You know what? Yeah, you know what? That's definitely. So I know James is in the chat. So yeah, definitely, we're going to get you on. We're going to get James on, who's got to come back on my show anyways. Well, for various stuff. But anyway, thank you very, very much, Mr. Rolando Brison. And again, anyway, before we close, I said, before we close up, so. Yeah, remember to like, follow, and subscribe. This channel you're watching is obviously the People Stream. Follow my YouTube channel, Article 12, and I'm on Twitter as General Skirmish. But anyway, all that's left to say is thank you very much to my guests. Again, thank you very much, Mr. Rolando.
Thank you. And guys, you know me. I'm at the Video X Games. You can check me there on Twitter, facebook.com/thevideoxgames, or you can also catch me on www.thevideoxgames.com. We're going to be all over the place. You'll see us on the FGC. You'll see us on Twitter. And just keep in touch. And you know what? Like I said, I hope as many of you guys as possible can make it down. But if this year you can't, please support us on the stream. We'll very much appreciate your support. Thank you so much, guys.
Okay, then. Anyway, and thank you very much, Kaworu. But again, like I said, so there's going to be a show this Wednesday, a very special covering the recent events at World Games Cups. I can definitely confirm we have Hollow, who was there. Yeah, Hardo, Kaisertron. Hopefully we'll have a couple of the other Marvel lot that were there. Again, it'll be more than 2 guests, hopefully. But again, this Wednesday, so same channel, this Wednesday, 9 p.m., the People Stream. But anyway, guys, thank you very much, and that's a wrap. Catch you guys later.
All right.